Sorry, but I have to start this video by dealing with a bit of a situation, right? So, on my last video, for some reason, YouTube decided to delete like half the comments on the video. I have no idea why they did this. If you notice your comments like missing or it looks like it's deleted, it wasn't me. I've never deleted a comment ever on my channel. It was YouTube, but I have no idea why they did it. If anyone has any ideas like why this happened, like let me know. All human relationships are 100% transactional, alright? There's no such thing as like just a happy relationship between two people. If someone has a relationship with you, it's because they want something out of you, right? This is why you guys need to be so careful who you trust in life, because if someone ever comes up to you and they just start talking to you, they won't do that unless they want something from you, alright? And if you think about a relationship with like a guy and a girl, like a kind of like a girlfriend relationship type thing, then they're only really together so they can like fuck each other and shit, and then later on, like after a few years, the girl will just settle down with like some other guy and he can provide her with like financial support, and in return he might get sex every now and then, and it's like it's just all transactional. It's all just like, what can I get out of a relationship? That's what people are thinking, right? Like divorce and stuff like that's going up these days, and people like are wondering why, and it's like, if you think about it, it makes sense, because if two people have a kid together, then that's like the purpose of the relationship complete. Like, so many people get divorced after they have kids and stuff. It's like, that's once a woman gets pregnant through a man, like that's what he's needed for. She's kind of used him for what he's needed for. And once they stop becoming fertile, once they stop having kids, they get to like an old age. You see, like the man just gets treated like shit, dude. Like I've seen so many old couples where the guy just gets treated like shit for no fucking reason, and it's because he has no more power in the relationship. He doesn't provide anything like financial support, and they're not having kids anymore, and it's like once you can't provide something for the relationship, it's just over. So think about the kind of people who actually end up in relationships, right? Like I remember when I was in school, if I was like in a group project, for example, with a bunch of girls, like they would be talking about the guys they liked in front of me and shit. And as a side note, like, you know it's over for you when girls are talking about which guys they like in front of you, because what it basically means is, it's like, if attractiveness is like a scale, right, or like a meter, you're not even like, you're so unattractive to them that you're not even on the meter. They don't even consider you as an option, so they're just talking about these guys they like as if you're not even there, you know. But that's just brutal. But the guys they'd talk about, who they'd always like, would always be like the same guys. It'd be like the tallest guys. They had like clean, clear skin and symmetrical faces and stuff like that, with strong jawlines. Now obviously that isn't a surprise to anyone like now, but back then I was like blue-pilled as shit. I was still a kid, so it really blew my mind, because I was raised with the message that I think like a lot of us were raised with, is that like personality is like, it trumps looks, and it's more important every time and stuff. That doesn't even make any sense, right? It's like most normies and red pillars, if they like hear about you being like an incel, they'll be like, oh, just go to the gym, bro, you need to take care of your hygiene, bro, and stuff like that. And it's like, if personality is so much more important, then why does so much of the advice about how to get girls revolve around looks maxing, you know what I mean? So for example, right, like my mum was telling me recently like how important it is like take care of my fashion and stuff so I can get a girl. And first of all, that's fucking cope, because it doesn't matter how you dress. Like sub 5 is sub 5, and like what you wear isn't going to change that, obviously, like we all know that. But secondly, right, if girls do care more about personality, then why does it matter how I dress, right? Like why can't I just wear like a t-shirt, a hoodie, and like some jeans or something? Like why does it matter? Like obviously if you dress like complete shit, like it makes sense, but like I dress totally normally, and like, well, that's not good enough, I have to deal with this other shit. Like, why'd they care? It's obviously just all about looks. And the same goes for that like cologne or aftershave or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know if it's like different things, but it's basically just like smelling, like putting these like fancy like deodorants and stuff on you or whatever, right? Like a little bit deodorant makes sense if you smell and stuff, but like having this aftershave stuff is just so like over the top. Because my mum always makes me spray that shit on whenever we go out to like a family gathering or something, or whenever we go out, she's like, a girl could notice and it could be your future wife or something, and I just want to smash the fucking bottle, because it's like, what's the point of it, you know what I mean? What's the point? She's always saying shit like, oh, girls really appreciate a nice smell on a guy, but then she also says like, don't put too much on, and it's like, it's just such a circus. It's like fucking bullshit. You need to know exactly what to do. You can't use too much, you can't use too little, and you have to do all this shit to impress girls. And if you're sub 5, it won't even matter, you know. Like I don't think that shit's even important, because if you were like a Chad and you did that, they wouldn't even like, if Chad didn't wear aftershave, no girls would notice, they wouldn't care. But if you're sub 5, it's too late to make a difference anyway. The most brutal fucking thing I can think of is probably like some 40-year-old like balding man. Look, he's single, and he's going on a date with like a single mum, and he's putting some aftershave on, thinking it's gonna make a difference. That's fucking brutal, dude. But, like, you see these relationships like with gold diggers and shit, and they're like older guys they go out with, and it's like they're just going out with them for their money, and the old guys like know that shit, dude. Like, seriously, they know, like, but they don't care, because it's like they're old and they know they're going to be dead in like 10 years, so they just get to like fuck a hot girl, and like after they're dead they don't need their money anymore, so she can have it. And it's just like loveless relationships where it's just sex, and like they're so brutal. But that's just another example of like how relationships are transactional. That's just like the thing about that is like that's just more honest about it. That's how relationships in life work anyway. They're just more honest. Like a prostitute, and you know, if you have a prostitute and you give her money and stuff to have sex, it's like people be like, oh, that's wrong and stuff. But I don't really think it is. Like, I'd never do it myself, but I'm just saying, like, how is that any different to how society works in general, right? You have to take women out, you have to get them all this shit, listen to their stupid fucking problems. It's like that episode of South Park where, you know, Butters has I'll try and put a clip up now, actually.
Butters, can't you see this is wrong? You've got little boys all over school spending all their lunch money on kisses. Boys shouldn't be paying for kisses. It's wrong. Cal, every boy pays for kisses. Do you know what I am saying? If you got a girl and she kisses you, sooner or later you're paying for it. You gotta take her out to lunch, take her to a movie, and then spend time listening to all her stupid problems. Look at Stan right there. He's gotta sit there and listen to her stupid motherfucking problems because she kisses him. You ask me, that's a lot more than the $5 my company charges.
It's like, it's true, man. It's true. These like relationships where it's like what the two people want is like clearly established, like a prostitute and a customer is like it's just what happens in society, but it's just more honest and more like straight to the point kind of thing. Yeah, the thing is, like, girls will never tell you that shit either. Like, they'll never tell you what they want or what they like, you know. They'll just expect you to know, or better yet, they'll expect you to pick up on their so-called hints, quote unquote, right? And that's obviously just ridiculous, because some of the things they consider hints are so like just pathetic. If you look at like some of the things girls consider hints, it's just like, yeah. I had this thought, right, that if girls didn't have vaginas, like, would men put up with their bullshit that they always try and pull off? And I don't think they would. You know, sometimes I wish I had a vagina, because you could get away with like literally like murder with one of those fucking things, dude. Seriously, that's not even an exaggeration. I've seen girls like kill men and stuff, or kill people, kill their boyfriends and stuff, and then they get off on like manslaughter charges for some reason. Like, it's crazy. So I was on Instagram earlier and I saw like the girl who I asked out recently, who rejected me, which I know doesn't really narrow it down, but if you've seen my Black Pill Strikes Again video, then you'll know who I'm talking about. I'll try and put it up but if I remember, but anyway, I don't really have a type, but the thing is, like, she's pretty close to it if I did, right? I guess my type is just girls no one else likes. In other words, my looks match, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of unattractive girls, but still, that doesn't seem to be enough, really. I remember the first girl I ever liked, I had like a crush on, was like in elementary school, and she had like a really long face. She had like olive skin, but it was kind of like greasy. She had like kind of stringy hair and stuff, and she had like really big buck teeth, like SpongeBob kind of thing. But I never even got with her, because like she was like a 3 out of 10. She was literally my looks match, and I don't know why I couldn't get with her. I remember the last day of 8th grade, right? It was a really hot day. It was like the day before the summer holiday started, and we were off school, and we had phys ed as our last lesson, which is like sports, right? Like PE. So that was our last lesson, and we were on the school field, and it was like a really hot day, and there were like 5 of us, like my old friend group, and after the lesson was over, like school was finished, we just went like directly off the field, and we went to this one kid's house, and we just hung out there, and we were talking about like girls we liked, and they were going around saying who they liked, and I didn't want to say, and they guessed my one-itis, and they actually guessed it correctly. If you guys have seen my one-itis video, it was the girl from that video, right? And they actually guessed it correctly. I have no idea how they knew or how they got it right, but they knew who it was somehow. And after they guessed correctly, they all basically just took turns like saying she was ugly and shit like that. And like the thing is, like, I always like the girls that no one else likes apparently, but the thing is, apparently that's not even enough, right? You know, you'd have thought that me liking like unattractive girls would like help my chances, but as we all know, because of hypergamy, it just doesn't make any difference, right? I need to make a video actually about like the first crush I ever had on a girl. I'll make that video soon. But so since I quit porn recently, I've been thinking about it like a little bit, right? So when I went away with my family back in December, I did like a month of nofap, which isn't really that impressive, because obviously I'm not going to like FAP and stuff when like my family, like I'm living with them and stuff, obviously, but still, I went a whole month on NoFap when I was away, which was the longest like I've ever done NoFap since I was like 9, which is crazy. First of all, at this point, I've spent like more time in my life like having like been on porn than not, if that makes sense, if you know what I mean. And that's obviously that's like brutal and stuff, but yeah, like when I came back, I just started using it again. But I've been using it less and less, and I haven't used it at this point for like over a week. Like it's been like a week and a half now, which I know isn't like an insane amount of time, but for me that's kind of a big deal, and I've just had no urges at all to use it. Like I've no desire at all, and it's like that's good, but I keep thinking about this one video. It's probably like my favourite porno, to be honest, which I know like having a favourite is kind of weird, but it's basically this one where there are these two girls and they're dressed up like Asuka and Misato from Evangelion, which, if you know that they're having like a threesome, right, and if you've seen the video, you'll know what I'm talking about, you'll recognise it, right? It's not hard to find anyway. I'm not encouraging people to go out and watch porn at all, like, don't do that. I'm not saying at all to do that, but I'm just saying like, you can find it, it's not hard to find, right? And I looked it up the other day just to see it, because I wanted to see the Asuka girl, because I think she's so pretty, you know, she's exactly my type, and I mean, of course, like, a porn star isn't my type, obviously, and she has like a full like tattoo sleeve up her arm, which isn't like really like something I'd like either usually, but apart from that, like, I really like her. Like, I like it when a girl has like her lips, not those ones, but you know what I mean, like on her face, right? Or I mean those ones as well, I don't mind, right? When her lips are like, they're not like pink, but they're like just a darker shade than her skin, so like almost brown, like not actually brown, but you know what I mean. Like, if you go see the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it made me realise something about threesomes, though, because that shit's so fucking brutal, from both the perspective of men and women, right? Here's why. So let's just say, right, there's one guy and two girls in a threesome, right? For the women it's brutal because there's only really one person there who you like, assuming you're straight, right, and that's the guy, and the other girl is just kind of there. So it's automatically just like a worse experience than if it was just you and the guy, right? And for the guy it's pretty brutal as well, because the thing is, if you have these two girls here, there's definitely going to be one you prefer to the other, and the other one is just kind of there, and that's just so fucking brutal, dude. And same goes for two guys and one girl. Like, if you're one of the guys, like, you obviously don't want the other dude there, you'd rather just, it would like just be better if it was just you and the girl, but you just have to tolerate that shit, because like, you know, there's no other way you're going to get laid. It's like the guys who are in like open relationships and shit, and they just have to agree to that shit, because otherwise they know like their girl would leave them and stuff, and they're like, that's so fucking brutal, dude. There's nothing I can find, like, there's nothing I can think of that's more brutal than a guy having to agree to be in like an open relationship, because like he knows like he's not going to get another girl if he gets dumped. That's so harsh, man. Yeah, anyway, and the two girls, one guy thing is brutal as well, because like it leaves less girls for the rest of us. Say if you have like 2 7 out of 10 girls and 1 9 out of 10 guy, right? They're all taken off the dating market, right? At least while they're like fucking and shit. And it's like once they're off, right, now there's more men than there are women, right, on the market, which makes women like a more valuable commodity, and that just allows them to get away with like pickier shit. Like, they get away with the kind of bullshit that I was talking about at the start of the video, and it's like part of that's on men as well for like accepting that, because the thing is, like, no matter how stupid a woman is, there's always going to be a guy out there willing to put up with her bullshit just to get laid, and it's like, those horny guys are fucking it over for the rest of us, you know. Like, guys should go on strike, they should just stop going out with women, dude. I mean, like, that's kind of what's happening anyway, but like the chads as well, like, because guys will like fuck anything that moves, and it's like, that's kind of a problem, because it kind of, like, without sounding like mean, it allows like 5 out of 10 women to act like they're 9 out of 10s, you know what I mean? And it's like, we can't be having that, you know. You gotta know your place, you know. You can't be acting so arrogant. So, because the thing is, like, everywhere you look online, there's like averagely attractive women, and in the comment section there's just guys bigging them up, being like, oh, yes, queen, you're so amazing, you're so beautiful, and shit like that. And it's like, you know, I'm not against being nice, but I'm just saying, like, when you treat women this way, they'll start to believe it, and when a woman like thinks she's like a 10 out of 10, she's gonna act like a bitch because she thinks she can get away with it. That's why we have so many like unattractive women thinking they're hot shit, is because we've got these idiots bigging them up. It's just, you guys need to stop it. But this kind of transactional shit is true even in one-on-one relationships, right? Like, the most brutal fact about romantic relationships is that like one person is always going to love the other person more than the other, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, that person who loves the other person less has all the power in that relationship. And the fucked up thing is, it's usually the woman, to be honest. It's usually the woman that loves the other guy less. Like, I've seen so many relationships where the guy, like, loves the woman so much and she just doesn't give a shit about him. It's just horrible. It's just brutal to fucking see, dude. Like, I'd rather not be in a relationship than that, you know? Like, I know I talk all the time, like, about wanting a girlfriend and stuff, and obviously I do, but, like, I want, like, an actual girlfriend who actually loves me, you know? I don't want just, like, some fake, phony fucking relationship. And it's like, it seems like that's all that in modern society, those are the only kind of relationships left. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, like, I have no idea why there's this stereotype in society of, you know, women being loving and caring, and meanwhile men only care about sex. Like, women complain all the time, like, oh, he only wants me for my body, and men only care about sex and stuff. And it's like, yeah, at least you have someone who wants you, you know? To be honest with you, if anything, the opposite is true. It's like, women aren't loving and caring, dude. Women are, like, some of the most evil, selfish, like, calculating and just vile people on the planet are women. To be honest with you, like, and I don't even hate on them, because the thing is, like, I know if men had the opportunity, they'd be doing the same. It's just the way society's set up. It's just, I don't know what to do. There's no solution. I can't think of a solution. Maybe like a final solution, but apart from that, I don't know. I remember I saw this video where this guy was explaining how women are like these sexual selectors of women, because they have wombs, and that means they can choose like whose genes get carried on and shit. And it's like, the guy in the video described it as both a, quote, privilege and a burden. And it's like, how is that a burden, you know? Like, you get a bunch of men complimenting you all the time, wanting a relationship with you, you know, buying your shit, and you can pick whichever one of them you want to have a relationship with, right? And yeah, like, that must be such a fucking burden, you know? How hard? Cry me a fucking river, seriously. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it.